Oh, Trackmaster Revolution. In some ways, it was good, but in others, it was absolutely awful. Trackmaster Revolution changed the whole Motorized line going forward, whether we liked it or not. This line is radically different from what came before and coincided with. And with the line, it ended in 2020 and replaced with Motorized, then later AEG Motorized. And I'll say now, Motorized was a better line. Now it may be a biased opinion since I never had any experience for Revolution, only the classic and Motorized line, but hear me out. Now I'm going to talk about each part of Trackmaster Revolution. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And before we begin, it would help me a lot if you like and subscribe to keep making content like this for you to watch. And now I have a new goal to reach 10,000 subscribers. Alright? Now, let's begin. So this was the most controversial change to the Motorized line. In Trackmaster Classic, Fisher Price started to use a flat motor as a unified motor. It was perfect for making both small and big engines. But now they wanted to do more. Instead of the motor, why not the whole chassis? And well, soon they rebranded it and made all the engines share the same chassis, which brought some good and a lot of bad. The good part was, since they all use the same chassis, they can be interchangeable, which is a cool feature. Plus, it can be easily fixed, since now there's no 4 different motors to work on. Now, you only have one motor to work on, and it's actually more simplified. The motor is faster too, but not as strong as its predecessor. They changed how the wheels work. Instead of the rubber, the standard rubber tires, they revamped the rubber tires and have more, well, I would say spikiness to it. Coupled with the track having indents, makes it go up steep hills. Unlike the old ones, which yes, it can go uphill with its own track, but it won't go up steep ones. Now, the bad. With the unified chassis comes with the cost of some engines looking wrong. Either it's the wheels, or now having to be fat in order to fit on a chassis now. And they still had the balls to advertise it as realistic. Like, what? How is it realistic? Because of this, many people just hate the line because of this change. But man, the amount of characters they made through the years was a whole lot of nothing. Let's get real here. Many characters they released, most of them are just not really good characters, man. I mean, are you jumping out of your seat because they made fucking Etienne? Fuck no! Who cares about Etienne? He won the race, but he's an everyday character. And the fact they didn't make models of fan favorite characters like Duck, Donald and Douglas, Rosie, Mavis, and Daisy, and many more are just dumb decisions. Like, the other lines are releasing these characters. They're introducing them. Giving them CGI faces, and it just kind of gets annoying when we get shit like this. And you know what's even more dumber? How many Class 08s was made in the old Trackmaster line? Take a guess. 6? And now, we will see how many were made in Trackmaster Revolutions. 1! Fucking 1! Like, come on, guys. You guys have 4 diesels in the show that shares the same bases. But 1 year after Revolution ended, they actually finally started realizing, oh shit, we have more Class 08s. We could do more of the diesel mode. And it was Paxton, which is cool, but he already got a model in the classic version. Why not make Sydney? But don't worry, guys. At least they made Freddy. He wasn't even in the show for 6 years. He wasn't even in the CGI show. Which is weird, because, like, they made him, but he's not in the show? Like, maybe they had, like, planned to be in the Blue Mountain Mystery movie, but what the fuck? What? Huh? You guys didn't make the other narrow gauge engines, but you guys made Freddy? What? Oh, guys, you got... Woo! Guys! They made Scruff again. Oh, the world is saved. They made fucking Scruff. You know? Scruff! But no Whiff. Whiff is too far. Man, it doesn't help that they also made a Glenn, and well... But I do have to admit, some of the engines, some of the later engines and you know, releases were actually kind of dope. Like Hurricane. Hurricane was a pretty good model. Rivets, some nice extra details, painted stuff. Like, that was a good model. Same with Merlin. Although he's very inaccurate, he is such a cool looking engine. If you have this guy in your collection, he'll be one of the standouts because he's fully chrome. And same with the Steelworks Thomas. Like, that model is just so good with a good exclusive face. Like, I really love that model and I wanted to get it for some time, but I haven't really had the time to buy it. But I just really like that model. The dark, the more industrial version looking of Thomas. The exclusive face that looks awesome. Oh, man. The later stuff was actually pretty good. Such a shame that, we had to go models like, not to mention, Streamlined Thomas and Gordon. Oh my god, those are pretty good. Although that player roll ones are infinitely better with their two speed mechanic and more good proportions. You cannot admit they're pretty pog because of their unique faces. Like Thomas with his, I don't know, determination face or something like that, and then Gordon with his angry face. Well, not really angry face. I mean, I guess you can count it like angry face. It's just so cool. I really like it. Man, most of the sets that come to mind when you think about Trackmaster Revolution is either one track pony or just a worse version of a set. Tell me, what is the best set of Tomy play around? Giant Thomas set? Or maybe the Thomas Ultimate set? What about Trackmaster, Action Canyon, Spinning Fix, Shake Bridge, Deluxe Sodor Avenger set? Okay, what about Trackmaster Revolution? I don't fucking know. The Dragon set? I'm only just joking. There's some good sets like Mad Dash from Sodor, 5-in-1 Track Builder set, and also, I didn't write it down in a script, but also the 6-in-1 Builder set that just looks very pog. Like, these sets are great, but we also get things like this. It makes me want to slash kill. Also, it doesn't help that most of the sets comes with Thomas, with just shit painted all over him. If you get lucky, you might get a Percy or James or any other character, but that's if you're lucky. Alright? But because most of the shit comes with Thomas. But some sets are just worse versions on the Trackmaster sets. Like the Tunnel Blast set. It's just a shittier version of the original Burst Through Mine Tunnel. You want a Spin and Fix set? But you don't want to buy the old one. You want to be compatible with your new engines. Well, here you go. Now added depression. Like, don't lie to me. The old one is just way better than this cheap wannabe knockoff. It also gone down to the root of plagiarism, like this set that tons of Trackmaster talk about. The Boat and Sea set. Just being a poor man's version of the original Player Rail Thomas the Tank Engine. Exciting Cruise set. That's a lot of words. Like, look at it. It's just almost 1-to-1. But if I'm being honest, I kind of like the Trackmaster Revolution one more with the added details on the track. But the Player Rail comes with Cranky and Shock Thomas, so it's automatically better. And the track packs. I didn't write that down in the script, but the track packs are okay to pretty good. Like, you have some good ones, like the Marion Bridge expansion, the Tunnel expansion, even though the tunnel looks like utterly shit. Dynamite Delivery Accessory Pack, which comes with a troublesome truck. Oh, that's kind of rare to come by in Trackmaster Revolutions. A troublesome truck with a face. The Heresy. The Hazard Tracks, which looks alright, but the Whispering Road Suspension Pack, which is just, again, the poor version of the original Trackmaster one. It just looks so sad, man. Like, it looks so sad. This shit looks depressing compared to the original one. And that's not because Toby's not in this one. The Brave Bridge Collapse set, now that's actually a good one. It looks so good. But it's such a shame that we just get shit like this. But they also made the Tifmit turntable. But they never did the Tifmit sheds. At all. And then I'm not gonna fucking count the fucking Super Station or the Super Tower. Those does not count. Because it's their own abomination. But it's kind of weird that they make the Tifmit turntable expansion pack. But they never did any Tifmit sheds. You could use the old one. If you can find one at a good price. But they never did the shed, which is weird. But also not surprising as well. But they did make a variation of the sheds in the Push Along line. Connect and Go pack. Which either came with Thomas, Percy, and Diesel? Oh! And they also made a Napper station on a Push Along line. So that's cool. Finally, they're starting to make this shit. After Trackmaster Revolution ended. That just proves the point that Revolution was just too focused on making shitty gimmick sets that they forgot to make the main setting of the fucking show. Tifmit sheds and Napper station. And then when the later lines, was introduced, they realized, oh shit, we need to sell something with this shit. We need to sell new shit to get people to buy our stuff. So I guess that's one of the reasons why they like the old Push Along line. Yeah. You guys remember the RC line? Or the Flip Place line? Or maybe the Talkin' line? Well, Revolution did those anymore. But you want to know why most of these sublines aren't around anymore? Well, Trackmaster Revolution kinda killed them. And I'm not being negative. They literally killed most of these sublines. Alright, now I'll start talking about them. Talking engines. Man, Trackmaster Classic had so many characters in this line. I wonder how many will they make? Well, crap. No! Yeah, they only made 4 characters. Thomas, Percy, James, and Diesel, which for some reason has the racing decal on it, but it's kind of cool, but kind of weird at the same time. They were also making a Gordon, Edward, and Henry until the line got cancelled for some weird reason. Like, I don't know why. I mean, other than the missing buffers, but they looked great and had a bright future ahead until Motorized came along and made the best talking line ever. Crash and Repair engine. Man, I missed the flip face line, but I want it back with a terrible gimmick. Well, here comes the Crash and Repair line with Thomas, Salty, Diesel, and Bash. And my god, Thomas and Bash just looked awful. They're overinflated. And Salty and Diesel looks alright for a Revolution model. And yes, they have a flip-based mechanic along with a crash mechanic too. And it's triggered by this obvious bumper piece that when pushed into a rock or any solid object, it comes with a flip-based shock expression. Really cool, and they flipping explode. But in some places where it actually pops out, it's kind of weird. Like Thomas, it's just his side tanks and boiler, which is cool. But this means that Thomas literally had a boiler explode. So rest in peace. Diesel 10 has just have the one part of him just pop out and expose his engine, which sounds more like an inconvenience instead of a near-death experience. And plus, I'm pretty sure only one side of it pops out, so But what makes up for it is the pinchy moves. Up. I guess it's a cool trade-off. But the weirdest one is Bash and Salty, which just has a small inconvenience of their fucking cab exploding. which means the driver and fireman are fucking dead. And again, these are the only characters made, and the only release of Bash, since he never got a standard release in Revolution. And also, he's a twin, which means Dash could have been made in a second wave if it ever came out. Maybe the second wave could have a Percy, Diesel, or maybe a James, but we'll never know because there's no prototype release. And yeah, well, just like how it was introduced, it was also quickly forgotten. RC engines. Man, I love the classic RC line. I had an RC hit toys James. It was the coolest thing ever. And well, Revolution made their own RC line. And well, it's alright. I mean, the models are fine, but they can only go forward. Unlike the old RC lines, which can move forward and backwards. And the older one has 2 buttons, and one plays a whistle while the other plays the copyrighted music song. They only made 3 characters in this line. Thomas, Percy, okay, makes sense. But they also made Luke, and like, that's already weird enough, but this is the only release of Duke in Revolution? Like, what? Why not James or Diesel? That would make more sense, but Luke? What? Not only that, not only he then never got a standard release, this model was heavily updated from the classic Trackmaster one. Huh? You guys put so much effort into Luke, RC model, and not release him standardly? Why? I don't get it. This model is so cool. I would love to see a standard release, but you guys never did. What? Huh? The RC line is fucking dead now, so I miss the RC line. I wish Motorized would bring it back. Real Steam Engine. Man, I like this Tommy Real Steam Thomas, but he's just too much. And well, I also want more characters with the Real Steam mechanic. Well, Trackmaster Revolution Real Steam line is here to fill the void. And Jesus, I thought I said Real Steam, not Pyrocynical's live stream.
Oh fuck, okay. Oh, I didn't know I had that mod on. Okay,
I mean, it does do the Real Steam part well and pretty good. And hell, if I had this as a kid, I would loved it to death, to the point that the Real Steam will no longer work, and now I'll just have a basic model with just fat Thomas. But man, look at James and tell me he's not suffering, man, because my man looking like a fat nickel avocado here. And again, they only made 3 characters, Thomas, Percy, and James. And that's a good lineup. I mean, at least there's a random character like Millie. But man, if they could have made more, this would have been pretty good, but they never expand more than the first wave. Like, you guys could have made another line with a real gas diesel line. With real polluting gas. That would be so cool. Speed and spark engines. Man, these sounds cool in concept. Like a toy train with lights on the back of the wheel to simulate spark. That actually sounds cool, but guess how many characters they made? Alright, have you guessed? Well, they only made 2. Only fucking 2. Thomas, Docker, and Percy. Like, come on, I would love to see a Gordon or a Diesel one. And Thomas has the face from the Streamlined Thomas, which isn't the first time they reused this face, because they reused this face in the Sky High Bridge jump set, which also had sparks and a speed detail, but this one is different from the Speed Spark Thomas, so yeah. But they will later use this Speed Spark Thomas decal on a later release and give it a normal face and actually modifying it to fit on a normal chassis, and of course removing the sparking light gimmick and for the super station. And this is the one I have. God damn it, man. Turbo engine. Man, I know these are the most gimmick line ever, but man, I really love these designs. Like, Thomas and Percy just look so cool. Yeah, a little weird, but cool, man. And I'm not even mentioning my favorite of this line, Diesel. Just look at him. He goes so hard. I just love this model so much. The jet intake or the engine is just a cool design. I really want one. So bad. I'm gonna buy one now. Okay. Turbo Trackmaster Diesel. Holy cow! Man, that is much as a shockwave, man. So this line, as well as you guessed it, is engines going super turbo speed when it's activated with a special track it comes with. And man, you could do so much with this. Now you could like have it shoot out in the sky and crash into some Lego pieces, man. That shit sounds dope. But once again, it was short-lived, and there was a planned Turbo James to release, but it never happened, and we never saw it. So, yeah, the Turbo line just died, and such a shame, really. I would have loved to see a Gordon, or maybe a Spencer one. Like, that would sound cool. Like, come on, guys, you guys had something. Why? Hyperglow engine. Man, we have so many glow-in-the-dark track and some glow-in-the-dark engines, but this is kind of boring. Well, here comes the Hyperglow line. Glow-in-the-dark engines with a neon paint scheme and with added feature with 2 black lights underneath the chassis that would illuminate the glow-in-the-dark track underneath. And not gonna lie, this shit sounds peak glow-in-the-dark stuff. But the characters they made were just kind of random. Like, you have the usual, Thomas, Percy, like duh. Nia, which of course is a new character made, so why not her? Then Ashima, which is random, like why her? And they didn't really change her design at all, so that's kind of weird. Just release. But the weirdest one is Kevin? Like, huh? Not James, Diesel, or maybe Edward, like the glow-in-the-dark, like the old glow-in-the-dark pack. Kevin? Like, what? Why? I don't get some character choices in these lines. And this line will be the only sub-line of Trackmaster Revolution to later be re-released and motorized. Except for Kevin, thank God. And Ashima for some weird reason. So when Motorized took over, it was just Trackmaster Revolution but with a different branding. But they did change some things, like adding lights to the eyes, which is a nice thing. That Replay Rail doesn't even do that with their normal release. Then when they actually started to make their own stuff, it just knocks Revolution out of the water. Like sets, they're not making 10 billion gimmick sets. They're not making Thomas fly from a fucking bridge into the sky and then back down, and they're not making Thomas go through a dragon and shoot out the fucking fireballs and shit. They're not making Thomas go up the fucking mine and go shakily down and then on top of fucking Darcy. They're not making Thomas ride Darcy for some reason. They actually started making sets that are like Sodor, and Rolling Stock got a huge upgrade. I forgot to mention this, but Rolling Stock in Revolution was almost non-existent. Like, in most of the gimmick sets, you can only use one, or in the case of Tender engines, none! So what's the point of using Rolling Stock in a Trackmaster Revolution goddamn set? I mean, sure, you had some sets that had, you know, some Rolling Stock usage, but now with more Sodor-like sets, they can actually make good Rolling Stock. And they did! They brought back the Charleston truck, which yes, it was in a Revolution line, but it was just kind of phased down near the end. And not only that, but it's not really common, so yeah. And the tanker truck, like, man, this shit is what we were missing. Sadly, I don't have any of these at all, because my dumbass didn't buy the Percy and Tanker pack. Instead, I got a puzzle ball, which I'm pretty sure I haven't touched in like a year. So, good job, young me. They also brought back the Talking line, and I didn't like it at first, but it grown on me, man. I really love the new Talking line. They can interact to one another, and the Motorized a CGI line and actually interact with the AAG line, which is like, this shit is so cool, man. Why can't they have this as a fucking kid? They brought back the freaking Express Coach, like they brought back the Express Coach. We haven't seen that shit since Hit Toys here in America, unless you want to count the Fisher Price Express Coach, but they're just different coaches. But man, that shit was so cool. It had the flip out features, like the ones for the old classic Trackmaster packs, you know, with the carriages, with the coaches and trucks that you can flip, and then you can see the inside and interior. That shit was cool, and they brought it back. Finally, this shit was awesome, and Edward got his first set as well. That is awesome. I bet that sold like 10 boxes. And Henry got his own 3-pack finally, and it's with Winston. Amazing. And moving into A&G, they keep cooking like the male coach that actually looks like the male coach from the show, and just not just a piece of shit plastic with a fucking male stamp on it. Hallelujah. Give me more, please. What the fuck is these bunny cars? Why do they look so good, and why do I want them? They look so good. They look like better rolling stock than what we had in Revolution. Like, what the fuck? Like any incredible that actually has a good proportion instead of being squished just because performance issues. I don't care about performance issues. I want my train to look like a train. Don't you understand? And Kenji with his awesome coaches. I really love those coaches. I have one of them, which is actually pretty cool. Bruno, rolling stock character. Wow! Finally, they actually are making rolling stock characters. Man, hey, they're now starting to do it in the line. I just love my Bruno. Where is he? He's around here somewhere. There he is. I love it so much. So many good details. He's big enough. And this is one of the reasons why I actually bought one of their packs. I just love him. I haven't watched the show, so I don't love him in that sense, but I just love his. I just love this model. It's just so. But they cooked the best model of them all. Talking Cranky, like holy cow! This is one of the best Crankies they made. And it makes my RC Cranky shake in fear. And that was the best Cranky from the Trackmaster Classic line. And this AAG Cranky just makes a Revolution Cranky just look like a soy Cranky. If you don't have the RC Cranky, well, this is the best second option here. It's the what other choices do you have? Get this, like this is the best set of sets as of now. Like sometimes it gets heavily discounted and like 0.5% off or 75% off wherever you look hard enough. If you want a good cheap Cranky with some tracks and talking features, that's the Cranky to go with, and that shit is dope. Right, that shit is cool, man. All right, man. I thought RC Cranky was the best shit. No, that shit is cooler than that. I mean, I love my RC Cranky, but if I didn't have an RC Cranky, I would have bought that pack right out of Walmart, and will regret it because it will be heavily discounted at Amazon like 5 weeks later. And Motorized just keeps getting better. Like they're coming out with a Donald. Like how come Revolution never got this type of shit? Instead we get shit like this, man. Say what you want about the AG line, but they are cooking hard. And that puts Playrail to shame. You're next. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I'm sorry if you really want an in-depth review of Trackmaster Revolution, but that would take like an entire 50 years, probably like 2 hours of a video, you know, and no one's gonna watch 2 hours. And I didn't mention about the push-along line a lot because, well, it started to become its old thing when Motorized brand came out, so we kind of had to left that out. Hopefully Motorized will revive the RC line and make it even better. But only one can dream, right?